Welcome to GrayPrimer.com. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and we're getting up close and personal with Warhammer all weekend long. Starting with Blood Bowl. You may or may not know, but Blood Bowl is my favorite game. All these Blood Bowl teams. Up there are 2 editions of Blood Bowl. Down there, running across, and in this cabinet. Over here, 60 Blood Bowl teams. All mostly grey plastic, unfortunately. But I am a huge fan. To make matters worse, here are another 3 teams to add to the collection. I already have the Greenfield Grasshuggers, but they're just adorable. So I want to add another one of those, add some, more to the collection. The beautifully named Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, which is the Lizardmen team. Looking forward to getting into that. Had that for a little while, and I've been holding off until the arrival of the Fire Mountain Gutbusters, which is the Ogre and Gnoblar team. So 3 of these to unbox. This is day 1 of our Warhammer Weekend. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at Aeronautica Imperialis, then we'll get into Kill Team on Sunday, and on Monday we'll have the Warcry video up and running. But for now, let's get cracking with the Warhammer Weekend with day 1 and getting into these wonderful Blood Bowl miniatures. Back in a sec. Alright, sports fans. Just doesn't work with a Northern Ireland accent, does it? This is like, alright, sports fans. We got Lizardmen. We got Ogres, and we got Halflings. Going to start with the Halflings, because I have got one of these boxes already. I've never done an unboxing, so I'm going to do that now. The Greenfield Grasshuggers. One of the most adorable teams out there. And I just think they are glorious. Just fantastic. 12 miniatures. Shows when these were released because they're still marked as Citadel rather than Warhammer. And they got the old logos and stuff on them. And now it's all Warhammer. So here we go. You get 2 Halfling catchers. I think looks kind of like a sports glove. I think some of them have more sort of oven mitts, but anyway, he's got 1 sock. No, he's got a bit of a yellow sock, a bit of a green sock. He's got his tiny little bit of shoulder armor. His little belly hanging out over his buckle. Brilliant. I mean, but look at the intensity. This isn't a joke team. These guys really want to play. I mean, they really want to eat. But they really want to play football too. Here is the, by now famous, miniature, which has been compared to a certain television chef and fixer of restaurants, with what looks like a green football. Don't know what that's all about. Oh, that's just magic, isn't it? Look at the old pot in his head. Covered in gore. Sheer joy in his face. A little belly button. What's his role? Halfling Hopeful. What was the other one? They're both hopefuls, okay. And you got the turn and reroll counter there, which is a smoking hottie or hot dog sausage, frankfurter, whatever. And then a Cornish pasty. And a sandwich or a sub for the balls. That's your brill. And then the double-sided token there as well. With, of course, a knife and fork on the other side. And we got our decal sheet. And this is another Halfling Hopeful. Are most of them called Hopefuls? Okay, so we get Halfties, Catchers, and the rest are Hopefuls. That's alright. Oh, look at the little squirrel quarterback on his head. I think this should be awarded like a half a point if he manages to get that acorn into the end zone. It'd be even cooler if there was another squirrel in the end zone to catch it. I think that merits an entire point. Anyhow. A great motion on these as well. I mean, that is a very small contact point with that base. So I'm kind of hoping these are Slaughter. Because there's just not much to work with there. With a tiny halfling toe. Colander, I think you call that. And it looks like a little creature poking out from its sort of stripy scarf in his trousers. Brilliant. And then we get this guy with a busted up face. And a busted up belly. And a wrapped up hand as well. And the cool armor too. A little sort of retro looking Blood Bowl armor. I like it. Right, let's get in there. Sometimes they put like a little logo on the tabs here, but not in this case. That's alright. Oh, but there is a squirrel. So all is forgiven. Oh, like the goblin kit. It's in a plastic tray. That's kind of neat. And we have our decal sheet, which, as you'd imagine, has many food items on it. And hopeful catcher tree man. Oh, cool. So you get the tree man decal here as well, because tree men, of course, are one of those traditional big dudes who will play with halflings. Black and white instructions. Not much to the instructions. Looks like it's all pretty straightforward putting these folks together, and then all their details on the back there. And it says here, for full details, see the Spike Journal Halfling Supplement. So if you're unfamiliar with Blood Bowl teams when they come out, they generally come out with a magazine at the same time. Let me just see if I have the one for Halflings. Bear with me. This was Spike issue 5, and it was dedicated to the Halflings. So you would get this, you buy this separately, and as you can see from the sticker, this worked out at €9 in my local friendly gaming store, which in this case was Gamers World on Jervis Street in Dublin, which has had a recent large renovation, and it's looking very good. So the new team comes out, magazine comes out, and the magazine will have a bunch of lore, some usually pretty good stories and interesting reading in there, some pretty funny stuff, sometimes a cartoon at the back of it, like a comic strip. It will also have special rules. So while you get the basic sort of stats for the players in the box, for tree men and stuff, you would need to get this. And you can see it's a pretty cool, you know, there's the comic strip at the back that relates to halflings. You know, be a bit of fun. And then all the special players and all-stars and stuff from the history of this particular race in the sport. And, you know, there's the likes of the tree man there. And so it'll give you the relationship. Sorry for the glare off the lights there. The history of some of the famous teams, profiles, and yeah, professional, you know, production. Looks really good. Adds some background into the teams, which is always interesting. And then we get the actual sprue here. And they are Slaughter bases, but I'm yet to find out if the characters themselves are Slaughter bases. Doesn't look like they are, actually. Okay. So, do we have duplicate sprues? We're bound to have. Okay. So, 2 of each of these, and 1 of these. So we'll look at the one-off first, and then we have our different balls, our markers, the coin there. They always outdo themselves in the details on these things. Always add that, you know, really capture the essence of what these teams represent, and the Greenfield Grasshuggers and all halflings represent food. and their love of it. And much like hobbits, they've got those big old feet. Okay, cool. So the one with the very minimal contact with the base does come with a bit of slaughter here. So that's really helpful. That's brill. Make it much more stable on that base. And you got those fantastically detailed faces. Our squirrel. Look at that guy. Oh, that's really lovely sculpt there. His foot is in the guy's eye. That's not going to be comfortable. Yep, these are going to be fun to put together. Like I said, I had another set of these, but it has been a long time since I built them. I think I got them when they first came out. And the reason I got this second set was I really did love them. And just wanted some more halflings to add to my many, many Blood Bowl teams. Okay, cool. That's them all. What's next? These are the Lizardmen. Like I said before, the amazingly named Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. We have skink runners. Some more here. He's like looking at the camera. Like, Mom, I'm on TV. Oh, wow. What's this? Chameleon skink. Now that's how you catch a football. It's not sanitary, but it's effective. Lizardmen team turn and reroll counters. And then we got some balls here. Oh, I like that kind of, going almost for a China look to them. Like an eggshelly China look. And we got some kind of Jurassic Park thing going on here. And then the double-sided token. Very cool logo. The transfer sheet. We got 2 Saurus blockers. And he's got some serious teeth going on. Another couple of Saurus blockers. Again. Oh, it's not teeth. Okay, it's a face guard. That makes more sense. Now it looks more I can understand what I'm seeing here. Is the blue skin normal? That something? So what normal sort of Lizardmen and Saurus look like? Not sure. And our last one, another 2 Saurus blockers. So what do you get? You get these 2 chameleon skinks. You get 4 skink runners, then you get 6 Saurus blockers. Nice. Okay, let's get in there. Oh, there's a nice bit of art there on the edge. That's cool. And inside we have our little chameleon skink. 32mm bases, slaughter bases. Usual. Instructions. Our decal sheet, we'll have a look at that in a sec. Look pretty straightforward. Black and white, so they don't show the glue points. But then you got like a stat thing on the back there. And let's have a look at these decals. So some interesting designs. Snake ones are pretty cool, or whatever that lizardy looking creature is. And skink, chameleon skink, Saurus, and the... This is kind of like a Jurassic Park kind of font as well. Interesting. Nice touch. And then Croxagore. Croxagore, of course, does not come in this, but I imagine they'll be releasing Croxagore models at some point in the future. Maybe Forge World will do one. Or maybe you can just go off and have a look at different brands. There may be a miniature that suits, but some people like to stay within the Warhammer brand, and that's absolutely fine because the quality, as we can see, is of the highest level. The detail in these miniatures it's just staggering. Utterly staggering. I can't wait to get these together. Oh, these source blockers are neat. Actually, the cover images don't do them justice. I think it's probably the glowing blue skin and the yellows and everything. It almost takes away from the detail. But I think these are going to look really interesting. Just grey sprayed. I think we're going to be able to see even more detail than you could do on the box art. Oops. Tugged in a bit of cabling. They're kind of spiky. Okay, so that's two of the same sprue there. So we're going to have a look at those in a short moment. Get them all built up. And finally, we have our Fire Mountain Gutbusters. And there are 16 miniatures in this one. Normally you would only get 12. But because so many of these little Gnoblars, you get extra. Great art on the cover. I might actually look out for the Spike magazine around these. Because one of my favorite teams from, I think, where did they first appear? I guess they might have appeared in 2nd edition of Blood Bowl back in the late 80s. It was the old-time Ogres, and I just always loved the idea of that team. So maybe in Spike magazine they might touch upon that, so I must check it out. On the back, so we've got, what do we got here? One punter, one ogre, or sorry, 3 regular ogres and one kicker. And then we got these bunch of Gnoblars. So let's have a close look. I think facial hair is going to be a feature of these creatures. And very little clothing. Just a pair of short shorts and some boots. Special teams, eh? And boots. I guess sort of board shorts. Got a bear trap in his hand there. I don't know if that's in the standard rules of Blood Bowl. Some armor, decent helmet, interesting dentistry, a very cool belt buckle that's about 2 foot wide, and it looks like a ram's skull on his shoulder. And then we get this one with, again, that cannot be legal, that weapon. Decent enough armor. Another cool belt buckle, and in full sprint, that one. This guy has got a friend. Interesting facial hair. Some tattoo marks as well, which I like to see tattoos starting to appear in some miniatures. I can't imagine it's the easiest thing to paint, but this poor little Gnoblar looks like he is screaming his little lungs out and not appreciating being wielded as I'm not sure, a snack? Hope not. We've got decals. Oh wow, loving that coin. And where did we go here? We got the reroll counter, and with a bear trap on it. That's neat. And then our footballs, which just look like they're chunks of rock. And then we'll get over into the Gnoblars here. This one's having a tantrum. This one's screaming for the ball. I don't think he wants the ball to be thrown to him. He would just end up being killed by it, I think. Especially if it's made of rock. I mean, look at the scale. This one's screaming to the gods. This one is saying, what's he got in his hand? It's a broken bit of ball. Wow. Angry little critters. This one's just pure anger. And this one's having a strop. They're so much fun. And then the little hooligan one with his broken ball gets pride of place on the tab. And I wonder are the bases different? And they are, yeah. So we got 32 mils, and then for the first time, I think, in the 2016 Blood Bowl, the first time we've seen 25 mil round bases. And for old hands of Blood Bowl. That's what they all used to be on. The old second edition pitch, maybe the first edition cardboard pitch, was spaced for 25 mil. Gonna have a look at this. Got our bear trap, some teeth. That looks like a skull, fist, some other stuff. Gnoblars, ogres, and runt punters. Runt punter? Goodness me. And then all of our numbers and everything there as well. And as always, they're duplicated in white. We have instructions. Wow, they are huge. Can't wait to see what they look like. Built up. And there we go. And then all the stats on the back. 2 of the same on the sprue. Let's have a look at that coin. Ah, that's magic. Really like that. And we've got those cute little Gnoblar faces. I think this is upside down. I love the ball as well. Face only a mother could love. Little Gnoblars. They're just adorable. Could you have a team just made of Gnoblars? Because that would be amazing. I mean, they're just going to be stomped into the ground. I do like that face, actually. I like that helmet. And I think I particularly like the color scheme on the cover with that head on it. Just grab it. Yeah, that there. I think it just works well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this is going to be a case of getting these built to get the full effect of them. And I will be back very shortly with all of these built up. Back soon. Okay, so let's have a look at the Greenfield Grasshuggers Halfling Blood Bowl team. I like to do 2 things. Eat, play football. Awesome. And they are just about the cutest thing as well. The little, the little mitt. His little sleeping cap. Belt buckle, the belly showing. But, you know, absolute intensity in the face, which you gotta respect. I got the little saucepan for a helmet. Pretty snug fit there. Bare feet. Oh, those little hairy bare feet are not going to fare too well against an orc in a pair of spiked boots. Look at this squirrel about to make a pass with his acorn. And the tail wrapped around this one's face, the foot in the eye. And it doesn't deter this halfling from racing blindly across the field. Gotta respect that. Beautiful sculpt. It's not funny, you know, imaginative and funny. Another one of those big mitts. Great expression on the face again. You know, it's like, I'm gonna catch one this season. You know you're not. This one looks like he has been to Hackenback. He's probably lost an eye, but undeterred, continues on. Maybe a little appendicitis scar in there. I love the little armor and stuff. And wow, this one is really trashed. Look at this. He's got his hand in a cast, and yeah, true warrior. Another saucepan warrior. I just love how cute they are, but the ferocity as well. This one also sprinting across the field, but unencumbered by a squirrel. He's got a little cauldron on his head. There's just so much energy in these. This one is not encumbered by a squirrel, but he does have a ferret stuck down his trousers with a neck scarf on. And a colander for helmet. I just don't have words. Just don't have words. Another celebrity chef. I like on the back of these, they have these clear spaces for putting in the player numbers. I think that's always a good addition. This is the teapot. And a great expression as well. Look at the dimples and everything. For even after a prime, all the detail is still retained. And our last one here. Got another saucepan, and we have a ferret from sturdier climes. This one doesn't need a scarf. Still needs to live down the trousers, but oh, Warhammer. I love that they've retained their sense of humor after all these years, because this is just beautiful. Brilliant. What a cool little team. I'm sure terrible to play with, but they look fantastic. Let's get on to the next one. So now we have the Lizardmen team, the amazingly named Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. Just the best name. But I found that there was some instability with a few of the Saurus figures who are sort of leaning forward, and that probably comes from me putting them onto 25mm bases when they're supposed to be on 32mm. It's possible they'd be a little bit more stable on a 32. I put them on 25s because, if you don't know this already, I like to play on the old style Blood Bowl pitch as well as the new one. And the old style pitch was cut in 25mm squares. You try to put 32mm based players onto that and things get pretty uncomfortable pretty quickly, you know? Okay, so let's get through them here. We have 4 skink runners, we've got 2 chameleon skinks, and then we've got our 6 Saurus blockers. So let's start with the skink runners, with this little feller down here. And there is a couple of, something really nice here. This flamboyant sort of headdress thing that goes on top of the, or that is the helmet, it's okay. I think it'd be, bring some amazing color to the field, but I like that you don't have to use it. You can go without and just go like this. I mean, this poor guy's not going to have much armor in his noggin, but it separates the miniatures. It makes them seem like they're, 2 different sculpts or whatever, because of the lack of headdress. But design-wise, they're okay. I love the eyes and the teeth. Imagine you get some nice paint effects for those eyes. So those are pretty cool. And we'll get on to some of these Saurus blockers, because they're pretty spectacular. Again, it looks like a little cord wrapped around the tail here, so you'd be able to get a couple of color stripes in there, depending on your team colors. And you can see the helmet as well there. With these, as far as I remember, yeah, you had to put the helmet on these because there was kind of a slot cut into the side of the head. I guess you could have filled it with milliput or something, but I kind of fancy just getting them built as per the box. A nice sort of necklace, again, with lots of opportunity for adding splashes of colour in there. So this is one of the ones that gave me the issues with balance. Only 2 of the Saurus blockers were giving me that issue because you can see they're leaning so far forward. So on a 32mm base, which would sit out to about here, I think it would be fine. For this on the 25mm base, which is MDF, I'm probably going to just bore in a little indentation there and put a penny in to give it a bit of weight. But apart from that, very cool. I'm not sure about the color scheme on the box. I don't know if these are all supposed to have blue skin. But when you look at the miniatures on their box, apart from the chameleon, I don't know. I don't know if that blue works for me. That sort of turquoisey look to them. If you look at the concept art, you can see it's sort of got a white belly, and it's a more subdued blue because there's white throughout that. So maybe that might work better. It's easy to say that, with the concept art being so phenomenal. So it's like, yeah, I'll just do it to the concept art. Sure. Good luck with that, Nick. Anyway, let's get on to these chameleon skinks. Because I really like these. I love when I first saw these in Warhammer community, I didn't like the tongue and the football, but actually seeing them now in the real world, they're very cool. And I like the little sort of slitted eyes as well, just like a chameleon. And catching the football with his face is always going to be a bonus. The only thing I didn't really like were the hands. They felt like Lego minifigure hands. And I know they were, trying to replicate a chameleon's look, but it doesn't work for me. It just kind of feels like a Lego minifig. And again here with the one I did without the headdress. It's got those minifig hands. I do like the tail curled underneath, and you can see it actually curled right up inside there, just like an actual chameleon. But I think they could have done something a bit, taken a bit of artistic license with the hands, because it's just kind of a missed point there. But anyway, that's all of the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, and let's get on to our Ogres. So here we have our final Blood Bowl team on day one of this Warhammer special weekend, and it is the old-time Ogres. Best till last, most definitely. For Ogre, I don't know, now I feel kind of bad saying that, because the Halflings were just so adorable. Anyway, the Gnoblars are kind of adorable as well. And that's what you have here. You have the 4 Ogre players, and then you have 12 Gnoblars. And I know they're tiny, but I think it's kind of great value for money. You've got 16 miniatures here, whereas most Blood Bowl teams are 12. I think the Champions of Death is 14. Am I right? I think so. Yeah, so I just checked there. The Champions of Death Undead team, it comes in with 14. This one's got 16. We got 4 Ogres. We've got 12 Gnoblars. Gnoblars, I guess, are in the same sort of racial grouping as like orcs and goblins and snotlings. Are these like the snotlings for 2020? Who knows? The build of these was fine. Gnoblars are just kind of, I think there would be 1 or 2 pieces, variations on the heads, and there were 6 different body sculpts. The Ogres had 2 different body sculpts, one kind of with the foot back. You will see him here with the foot poised, and this one is classed as a runt punter, which is not easy to say. And runt, of course, meaning like a small creature, in this case Gnoblars. And now I'm feeling really bad for these Gnoblars, because there's one being about to be thrown here, and if there are others that get kicked down the field, is that a rule in Blood Bowl? I haven't seen that rule. Do you give the Gnoblar the football and then hoof him down the field? Wow. Let's get on with it. Have a look at Ogre number 1. And straight away you will see there's just sensational detail throughout. The shield, the belly shield, I can't really call that a belt buckle, it seems. It's just, it's so much more than that. And that can't be legal. That kind of a weapon. I mean, that's a sword, technically. Anyway. Who's going to argue with this dude? Great detail on the face and the ears. Like, who would have thought they were sculpting ears? Space in the back for the number, which is cool. I love the cleats here, the detail there. And enough space, I guess, on the shorts to get the feeling of the team colors across, and a shoulder arm as well for a logo or whatever. but very lovely. And let's have a look at our first of our Gnoblars. Yeah. It's like, I'm open for good reason. I don't think... Let's see if we have a football for scale. This is a standard Blood Bowl football. And then we have our Gnoblar here. So, it is, yeah. I don't think that tiny little hand is going to be able to cope with that football. But, oh, bless him for trying. So he looks ferocious enough. Really naked as well. I mean, all they have are like a little bit of cloth. No armor. Okay, so this one's got armor. This one's got a magnificent tea-cozy helmet. Great detail around the teeth and the nose. Do they have shoes? No, of course they don't have shoes. Why would you give them shoes? They're going to last about 3 minutes in the field. Shoes cost money. This one realizes that he's going to last about 3 minutes on the field and does not want to play. Amazing facial hair. And you can see where the shield sort of attaches with this link here, and then the strapping goes all around the back to the belt here. And I like that. Somebody's thought about the engineering of that. And has thought, how will this thing stay up? And it's great to see that sort of attention to detail. I like that the hand is a bit strapped there. You've got some armor. You may have noticed he's wearing or carrying something that's probably non-regulation too. In his hand he's carrying a bear trap. That's brilliant. How does the football fit into that? Yeah, football fits neatly into that. Very cool. So that's the second of our ogres. And then we got this great one, just diving for, either he's been flicked off to one side or he is diving for a catch. One of my favorites, which is just pointing down the field, and he's got a broken bottle. Amazing. Just imagine like pointing at some troll or something. A huge creature, and he's just fearless. And then we have our second runt punter. This one I put there's optional armor plates. This one's like a big bit of wood and it's all strapped up and it's got nails all through it. So I wasn't really happy with how that attached to the body. It just kind of felt a bit awkward. Felt like it should have had a slight curve in it or something, or a bit more of a curve. But it was okay. I went with I didn't attach the skull to this because that was another option to, again, create some variety. But some are amazing facial hair and a little bit of a ponytail. Another Gnoblar. Spoiling for a fight. This one too. Absolutely just wanting to get stuck in. But if you place one of these guys immediately behind with the foot up, yeah, that's just not going to end well for that little guy. As determined as he is. He's going to have a brief flight and then squelch. This one I tilted the head a bit more, gave it a bit more of a scream. And I love that. And then this is the other standard one with both feet planted rather than in the punting stance. And this, I put the helmeted head on this. You got the great visibility on the teeth and the facial hair, the wrapped up hand there. And in the other hand is the screaming Gnoblar. I just wonder, in the lore, are these things willing participants? You know, they really passionate about Blood Bowl, like the Halflings, so they sort of queue up at the Oldheim Ogres recruitment center, you know, and be like, I want to last 3 minutes before I'm squished. And then finally, the second one of our Broken Bottle Warriors. This one I didn't give the helmet to, I just tried to angle the head, get as much aggression into the mouth sort of match the posture, the readiness with the smashed up ball. So yeah, there was nice sort of ability there to add a bit of character to them. I think there was enough variation between the heads and what they were, for the ogres, like what they were holding in their hands as well. The helmeted heads, the different sort of facial hair and stuff. I thought there was enough going on there. But yeah, I mean, big thumbs up. Out of the three, I'd say this would be my favorite, with the Grasshuggers second and then the Lizardmen third. So it feels kind of weird getting Blood Bowl out of the way first, because it's always been my favorite game through all these years. You'd think I'd close on that, but I just kind of wanted to get into it. It was 3 great teams. I still think it's incredible that we're 34 years into this. The legacy of Blood Bowl. We're still looking at new content being released for it. We've got these fantastic sculpts. We've got passionate fans. And a really great game at the heart of it that keeps evolving and keeps adding sort of new elements. Amazing to think, when it's into its 4th decade. Mind-blowing, really. But that's it for now. Please please subscribe. That's always helps me out when folks subscribe. Share if you know anyone who's into Warhammer or Blood Bowl or might be interested in these miniatures. And please just stay safe out there, stay healthy. And in the next episode, I'll be back with Aeronautica Imperialis unboxing the core set, and you will see orcs in planes. Who'd have thunk it? I mean, what do they put in their missile tubes, like angry Gnoblars, and fire them at the enemy? Probably about as effective as giving a Gnoblar a football and kicking him down a Blood Bowl field. But who am I to judge? I will see you then. And take care. Bye-bye.